Welcome to JackHorny.com show.
Okay, this is just a quick little story. I was reading today that a chap has been sacked from Asda for a retweet, I believe. Well, is it called a retweet? It was a post on Facebook, and I think it was a repost or whatever you call it. I don't use Facebook, so I'm not sure. It was from a comedian, the Scottish one. I forget his name. Connolly, that's it, Connolly. And it was deemed racist or something, or no, anti-Muslim or something. Now, the Asda stated that the first of all, I don't know how, if there's more to this story than there is. What's reported, let's put it this way, that I read was it's this chap was fired because apparently Asda has some sort of in its contract, some sort of social media thing where if you post something on social media, they have the right to sack you. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. It'd be interesting. I'll have to look it up if I can. Now, as I say, I don't know if there's more to it than this, because apparently 5 men who I think they were described in the papers as Muslim men were offended, who worked with them or something. Now, I mean, it sounds a bit weird, this story, because first of all, first of all, I don't think any firm should have a social media thingamajig, except for the possibility of such as the police, army, nurses, where, you know, it's posting. It gets a bit dodgy when if you're a policeman and you start posting your political views, in my mind anyway, and you could state that about nursing and the army. Apart from that, I mean, that's just a rough argument. I mean, maybe that even they should be okay posting, but I find it odd that a private firm, especially just for work employee, you could maybe argue the executives. Maybe that's different. You know, if one of the executives started posting, oh, we pay our staff nothing and ho 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 or something, that I could understand. But for start off, a joke shouldn't be sackable. I'm hoping there's more to it than this, because if there isn't, I think I'll be avoiding Asda, because I think it's an appalling thing to sack somebody over a joke. Even if they posted something racist, I don't think that's Asda's anything to do with Asda. You know, they could if it becomes illegal, then it's a police matter, but unless it hasn't anything in my mind to do with Asda or any other company, what you write on social media. However, well, we'll just have to look into this, because this is quite an interesting little tale. I'll try and find out, if I can, what their policy is. I'll see if I can look it up or something. And if this is the genuine reason, I mean, it could be maybe he's done something else and that is stating this is why he was sacked. I don't know. Because I honestly, if we're now sacking people for what they do in their private lives, then you're in a dangerous situation, because why not sack somebody because you don't agree with their sexuality or whatever, or because they've got a hobby you don't agree with? I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know what the joke was. I sort of looked at it and I didn't get it, but considering the comedian, I wouldn't have thought it'd be. I mean, he's not exactly the most. He's fairly PC, I thought. So, and even if it wasn't, I don't think that's anything to do with Asda. But the other side, what I did wonder was, how did people know about it? That made me curious, because why are other work people looking at his Facebook? It just seemed a bit of an odd thing. I mean, he's not sort of a 20-year-old, this guy. So it's not like it's. You know what I mean, if it was 20 and all the other staff were 20-year-olds, and you know that's one thing. That's what 20-year-olds do. But someone who's middle-aged, it's the sort of, why would anybody be but interested in his Facebook? I don't mean that as an insulting way. It's just that it's just, you'd imagine it's the activities of kids to look at each other's at work and keep in touch, not maybe work friends, but it just seemed an odd thing. It seemed odd that maybe I mean, I honestly, I really find this odd if Asda does have this policy, because it's sod all to do with them. So I mean, because he doesn't. It's not like he represents Asda in that respect, because nobody knows him. You know, is a chief executive might be different, because you might say, oh, XYZ is chief executive or director or whatever of XYZ firm. Yeah, fair enough. That you could see that, but some nobody. I mean, if I went to Asda and worked for them, I'm a nobody. No one gives a rat's ass about my views. Sod you. You don't care, do you? I mean, I don't look up people's profiles on when I go into Asda. I mean, it's just the most bizarre thing, this story, and it's shocking. But anyway, I just thought I'd cover it, folks, because it is a bizarre little story. And I presume there's more to it, because honestly, if that's what Asda's done, I hope every staff at Asda retweets that or reposts what he posted. I honestly do, and every other supermarket, because they should do in support of him. Just say sod you, Wilbur, and just find the most offensive stuff and just retweet it, and then go to the manager and say, look, we're reposting it just to wind you lot up, sackers. You know, let them sack everybody. I don't think they will. I mean, I actually do think if this is true, and it's really true, I hope everyone in Asda does repost that tweet thing. Because he apparently didn't. I don't think he actually typed the joke. So you know, I think people repost something. It's just ridiculous. Oh well, what a day! I don't know. If you're in England, it's pouring. Well, it is where they are. But the forecast is Saturday. It's going to be a heat wave, folks. Saturday, I think it's the end of the month. I can't remember which day it is. So if you got pets, watch out. Be careful, because if they're in the car or something, they're going to get very hot. I mean, should be careful anyway, but be very, very careful. Take lots of water. If you got a dog, soak him in the bath before you go for a walk. If I was you, I mean, that's what I normally do when it's hot is we walk along where there's some water, because then we can just if the dogs start panting or feeling hot, I put them in the water and hold them there just till their body cools right down. And sometimes I do it a few times, because half an hour later, even less, they suddenly can heat up quite quickly. So just be careful, folks. Anyway, that's me, just my little rant for now. It was only a short one, but it just seemed an odd little story, folks.